Alright, so this is my final unboxing. I have two packages on the way, two more unboxings to do. One's an auction win, one's a straight out buy. And then I have two more auction wins on the heels of those other two. A box of peanuts. God, I hate peanuts. Just get every damn where. I'm just going to put them out on the desk for now. When I pull these books out, they're going to fly all over this room. I'm trying to keep the mess down to a minimum so I get all this stuff cleaned up. Now, these books here are raw. They're not graded. And these are going to go, these are part of my Legion quest to get all the key Legion issues in high grade. Obviously, I don't have the first appearance of Legion in high grade, but that's an incredibly expensive and tough book to get in high grade. But I do have a 2.0 that I'm very happy with because it presents really well. The 2.0 presents better than a lot of the 3s and 4s that I've seen. So it looks really nice. So that's good enough for me. Now I'm going to open it up and read it. Okay, so we got the taped backing board. And I have another package from the same seller. Coming, should be any day now, actually. And then I have another win that's on its way. Now, like I said, I have two more as well. One's pretty. Well, the next two that are auction wins are extraordinary copies. I'm not going to spoil it, but. And then the last auction win that I had, and that was my last, because I said I'm not going to do any more auctions until the beginning of next year. Or I'm going to try to not do any more auctions at the beginning of next year. I know I say that, and sometimes temptations there. But I'm going to do my best to not get any more auction wins or participate in any more auctions. Now, I do have a really cool, very hard to find and high grade book that is currently, I paid for it. It came up for sale, extremely for what it is, high grade. Very hard book to get. I paid for it already. It has not shipped. So this is now Thursday, and I paid for this book on Monday. And they're going to let me know when they ship it. So I'm going to give it until Monday of next week. And if they do not ship it, then we're probably going to have an issue. Now, I know this is bad. And I did not see where I got this book already. And some of these Legion books, they do kind of look very similar to other Legion books. So you got to be careful when you're getting these, that you'll get a lot of doubles. So this cover reminds me of another cover, but looking at it and it's in my hands, I kind of feel like I got this one already. And if you guys are following along and you remember, let me know in the comments, because I put all my books away, my Legion books. I don't feel like digging them out. And I probably should have started putting these on my list and crossing them out as I go. But anyway, it's too late now. This is Adventure Comics number 342, featuring Superboy and Legion of Superheroes. And this is probably on the back it says 9092, which I agree. Colors are nice. It's got like one spine tick on it. But again, this is a hard book to find. I've searched for this book in high grade for a couple months now, and I could not find a high grade copy of this. This is a pretty significant book. This is featuring the Legionnaire who killed, co-starring Dream Girl. And on the cover, it has Starboy saying, "It's true, I killed this outlaw, but it was self-defense." Saturn Girl says, "That's no excuse, Starboy. When you used this deadly weapon, you broke the Legion code." Dream Girl says, "You've killed once, you'll kill again." And Superman says, "You're expelled. We don't want trigger-happy members in the Legion." And Starboy is one of my favorite Legionnaires. I like Starboy, I like Timberwolf, Dream Girl, and Shadowlass. Um, and this is, like I said, it's a high grade copy, hard to find high grade. All the Legion books really are hard to find in high grade. Some like the not the key like the key issues are really hard to find in high grade. Um, just really like this artwork. I like the cover. I'm kind of like I love that '60s pre '70s Legion. I just really do. Um, I mean, '70s. I haven't read them yet. I mean, I flipped through some of them. The costumes are just like the Brainiac costume, the Disco Brainiac, the Cosmic Boy naked costume. I don't know. I know some people have like it's whenever they picked it up, whenever they start reading Legion, that's their favorite, which is fine. And some people picked it up in that era, and that's their Legion, and that's what they remember, and that's what they fell in love with. And um, I just particularly like the '60s stuff, even though that's not when I picked it up. Um, but looking back, I love Silver Age books. Um, but cool cover. Just all the Legion, four of the Legion members standing there. Um, it's part of the story. And this one, uh, this was already on my list, and a while back. I'm thinking maybe going 2 years back, maybe. Biggie Shack, when his I think it was on his top five or something, or his spec show. Um, he brought up this book, and I've looked for it here and there because I agree with him. It's a very undervalued book for what it is, um, and you just can't find this book in high grade. You find it close, but not quite high grade. This one here, they have a 9.0 marked on it, and his grading is really actually pretty accurate. It's got one, two, three. It's got four like spine ticks in the center of the book. But it seems to me like that's a manufacturing error because they almost look like wrinkles a little bit. And I think if you put one of those tack things on there, you probably roll them out. I see like one ding in the cover. But overall, this is probably the nicest copy I've found um, so far. This is Adventure Comics number 369. It's got a date stamp on it. It says April 30th received. And as I'm doing this, I'm learning more and more about these date stamps. I used to shy away from them, but now they're not bothering me as much as they used to. I used to like just a completely pristine, non-touched cover, um, as it was supposed to look. But the date stamps don't bother me anymore. Um, it says, "Legionnaires, say your prayers. I warned you, no vault could keep me prisoner." And Monel, another favorite of mine, says, "We're dead. His magic is greater than our combined superpowers." And it has Superboy, Shadowlass, and Monel on the cover. And this is the first appearance of Mordru the Merciless. Agree with Biggie. This is a underrated key. It's a big villain for them. Um, and I mean, it guides for I think like 50, $60 in high grade, but you'll never find it for that. Generally goes like 100, and a little bit, maybe a little bit more in high grade. Um, I haven't seen one yet for $50 in high grade. But yeah, this is probably I would say this is more on the 8.0, 8.5 scale to me, because of the ding and the you can't really see it, but Superman's cape, you could probably see it right there. It's got a color breaking right there. Superman's cape. Um, but like I said, overall the book presents really well, and it's a hard book to find. So this goes to my Legion collection. Knocking two more off the list, and I have one more coming. I have another a high grade Legion coming, maybe two, but I think it's one. I think the other book I bought is not a Legion book; it's a different book. But I have two more books coming. One's for sure a Legion book. The other one I don't remember. But I'm closing in. Knocked out all the major ones, so I have all the major members knocked out. Um, I'm just now going after kind of like the secondary characters and some of the villains and some storylines. Um, so kind of on my way. I should make like a stopping point, which I was going to use Shadowlast as my stopping point and go from like the first appearance to Shadowlast's first appearance, but I've extended it now. Reading some of the stories and reading some of the descriptions on the stories, I'm going to extend that out probably to Tyrock. So I'll go first appearance of Legion to the first appearance of Tyrock, and maybe some issues before Tyrock I won't touch. I won't really get into much on them. So I'll probably like end it at like maybe the Tornado Twins, and then kind of skip to Tyrock. I think Tornado Twins are probably a good stopping point for where I want to be with it. So, with that said, I think the my next biggest books for them would be the probably the second second appearance of Legion. I want to get in high grade, like an 8.0 or higher. And issue 300, I want to get at least an 8.0 or higher. But I'd sell for 8.0 on that. I'm not pressed about that. And maybe Legion substitute heroes, 8.0 or higher. And then those would probably be like the next three major ones that I need. And then the rest are just minors. So I'll just go through and maybe save two of those for next year. I might just kind of tackle all the stuff as it pops up in high grade. Because like I said, looking for the stuff. I kind of got like my list together as I'm going through. I'm knocking them off. And I have multiple sources right now for a bunch of like just minor keys, or not even keys, like minor stories, but they're in super high grade or high grade. So I might start knocking them out because they're pretty affordable. Maybe I'll knock like one or two out a week, since I'm not doing auctions, and try to just stockpile those and get them all up to date. And then next year go after the last three big ones that I need, along with the major big book that I want that's not Legion related, but it's a big book that I want, expensive book. There's actually there's two that I want to get my hands on. Actually, there's three big ones I'll get my hands on. I'm gonna try to do next year. I'm a top 10, and then there's like three or four books that I just want that I keep putting off, and I really want to add them to the collection. I think they have potential, and I want to get in on them before they kind of get big, or blow up, because they could always just drop again. But I don't want to feel like that rat race of trying to have to get the book before it climbs too high. But yeah, there's about maybe three like minor keys that I just want. I've been putting off, and three major ones, and then there's two Golden Age books I want to go after, and then continue on with my Legion and miscellaneous stuff. Still buying new books, as you can see, not a whole lot. At one point, I was spending like 200 a week in new books, and I think I'm doing that down to about $80 a week. And I'm not really even following storylines anymore. At this point, I'm just buying covers. There's some books that I'm still continuing, like Captain America, a couple runs I'm still continuing. But for the most part, like I'm completely off X-Men. They've just it's so confusing, and I jumped off that train a while ago. I just couldn't keep up with it no more. When they start making the storylines flow through every book, and there's like 12 books you got to buy every week, I don't even have time to read that, let alone collect that with the other stuff that I want. Um, DC starting to lose me for some stuff that I was religiously collecting. I've dropped off of that as well. So right now, Marvel, I'm kind of really just Infernal Hulk, Cap, uh, Thor, and the miscellaneous covers. I mean, right now that's it. Um, DC absolutes, but not all the absolutes. I'm really just kind of getting Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. Still picking up Martian Manhunter. Um, Picking up Green Arrow, of course. Um, and regular Flash. Uh, Batman, Superman, Action Comics. Probably going to drop Green Lantern soon. Drop Green Lantern Corps. Probably going to drop Green Lantern soon. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just, I guess they're not for me no more. Still, like, I'll still get them to keep the collection going, like the Captain Americas, because I have every issue. But I do want to focus primarily this next year or so. I want to primarily focus on those three big books that I want, the three minor keys that I want, the two Golden Age books that I want, and a couple miscellaneous other books. And then the following year, I'll probably go back to trying to put together my Tales of Suspense run with Star and Cap. I think I have like half of them, and they're all in high grade. So I'm going to keep it going with those. I could have finished it out a long time ago with like mid grades, but I don't want mid grade. I actually have like maybe 7 or 8 mid grade ones that I don't even count that I have, because to me, I don't have them until they're high grade. All right, so that's enough ranting from me. It's getting late, and I will see you next time. Thanks.